Greetings everybody, Medicropper here. Hope you like that little throwback or paying homage to Medicropper, as he's one of my people that I used to watch for hours on end growing up, learning how to grow. I would say he's the king of disappearing for a couple months and then coming back with a new location, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. So this is the new BLEM genetics breeding project or grow room. As you can see, it's already all set up. So let's throw on some B-roll of this place set up right now, and then we'll go through the entire build laps of what it took to put this place together and what the plan is here and everything we have going on. Alright, so we just finished up the transplanting, getting the clones in the 1-gallon cocoa bags. So this project over here, we'll call it the left side, left tent, is El Chapo OG, which will be reversed to pollinate the remaining 8 plants. This Astro Pink will also be reversed, so we collect the pollen from that. I might use this one as a outdoor breeding project with the 4 clones that I have here that are just leftovers. But we'll go over the strains in the El Chapo OG. We got Lindsay OG, Mule Fuel, Platinum Kush, Blue Zushi, Mac 1, Tuna, Zukis, and Pink Astro. So that'll be pretty exciting project that we got going on in here in this 4x4 Gorilla Grow tent. And then the other project we have over here, some of the clones are a little bit weaker, but we are reversing the Malibu marker to 8 different strains. So we got Bubba Death, Oreos, Platinum Kush, Platinum Punch Cake, Blue Zushi, White Runts, Gastropop, and Mac 1 back there. Probably gonna take this Platinum Kush or Platinum Punch Cake away because it's not very healthy. These clones just arrived through the mail. It took about 4 days in the mail getting shipped to me, so some of them aren't that healthy. So hopefully overnight or till the next day they perk back up now that they're in the light again and transplanted. But this one came to me from a different source, but all the other ones came from a shipping source that took 4 or 5 days to get here. As you can see, they will take some time to perk back up, but yeah, there we go. So you can see both projects side by side. Let me get this GoPro out of the way. So let me know what you guys think about the projects. We will be doing the reversal pretty soon in this grow tent over here, obviously, but there's no point on turning that tent on right now just because we're in the vegging process. So we'll probably veg for 2 weeks, flip the 2 plants, or I should say 3 plants, into flower in the other tent over here 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead of the other one, so they'll be veg quite a bit longer, the normal plants, than the reversals, and then we'll go from there. Currently they have 150 ppfd of light. The tops of the plants 150 ppfd just for about 24 hours, and then we will up the light a little bit until it gets probably 400 or 500 ppfd in each of the tents. You can see the light spectrum from the 2 different lights a little bit different, so we'll also get to see how the 2 different light spectrums affect the plant side by side. Alright, so it's been 2 days since transplanting the little clones out of their shipping little plastic containers. They were in here for 4 or 5 days, like I said. So it's been 2 days. All the clones other than this one, and then all the clones over there other than that one, were in the little shipper plastic bag or plastic boxes for 4 or 5 days. Most of them have recovered pretty well. The Platinum Kush here looking good. Other ones are still surviving, but are bouncing back. So we'll give them about a week or so. Obviously, they'll come back to life. And then we'll take off with the grow. Obviously they're adjusting to the new environment. And then our El Chapo here, doing good, needs a top, which I'll do right now. So just taking off that little amount right there. That should bush it out quite a bit. This is our reversal, remember, so we'll be crossing El Chapo OG to the remaining 8 plants. We'll do that same process over here on the Malibu marker. So we'll just take a quick topping of this one. Sorry, the camera is pointing the wrong way. So there we go. Both of those have been topped. These ones in this tent were a little bit smaller of the clones that came in the shipping, but this Bubba Kush, probably one of the healthier ones. The Platinum Kush, just like the other tent. Oreos here. I have a second one of this outdoors for mother plant. And then we got Astro Pink here. This one might be just a reversal that I do extra just in case. Mac 1, not looking too good, but it will come back. It's just going to take some time to adjust. As you can see from the yellowing on, let's see which plant, this one right here, that yellowing right there, it's a little bit from transplant shock. You can see it over there too, and right here. That's from the lights being a bit too strong. So they went from being in boxes for 4 or 5 days with 0 light. I'm not sure what the PPFD was on these plants from the person that supplied me these clones. So they were at whatever PPFD from him, came to us in these boxes with 0 light for 4 or 5 days. They sat in this area with one of these bars on with about 70 ppfd for 24 hours, and then I transplanted them into here, and now it's been 2 days, and currently we have the light set to 160 ppfd at the tops of the plants right there. So they're adjusting to the increased light, and then we're going to increase this by 100 ppfd every day from this point on. And our environment right now in here, you can see right there, if you, I don't know if we'll be able to show it right there, 69% relative humidity with a 74 degrees Fahrenheit, probably 73 is bouncing all around. The temperature probe is right there, so a little bit higher from the canopy obviously, but that gives us good room environment for the space right now. I'm just leaving the tent doors open just as I dial in this space in this bedroom right here. We are going to be adding a dehumidifier over here. We have a humidifier, but it seems like with the humidity here, I won't need the humidifier. I just brought that in just in case, but I don't think we'll need that. Even with the plants so small, we already have a good humidity level in here. So we'll get rid of the humidifier, put a dehumidifier in here. That way when the plants get bigger, we're able to adjust the humidity lower later in flower. But since we're in here today, this is what we're going to be adding. We've got the Pulse Hub here. Any products on the Pulse website, you can use the discount code terpyhighs. So we're going to be putting the Pulse Hub, which is an all-in-one data collection unit. And then you can, I think it's 12 sensors you can hook up to each Pulse Hub. So we are going to be putting a THV sensor in each of the grow tents. So we have 2 of those. This gives us the temperature, humidity, and vapor pressure deficit in each of the tents. And then for a reservoir in here, we're going to have an EC probe and a pH probe. That way we can see what the water levels are in the space before we water the plants. I'm just going to be putting a garbage can back here in the corner of this room. There's a good amount of space here. A plug for a pump. And then we'll set up an automated irrigation in both these tents. They will be on the same watering schedule, just treating it as one whole grow, but 2 separate chambers. So when one grow tent gets watered, the same thing will happen in that room. So we'll just have a single pump, a single EC, and single pH controlling the irrigation here. Another product we have is the Pulse Pro. This will give us our same things that we get out of the Pulse Hub, like the temperature, the humidity, and the vapor pressure deficit, but this will also give us the CO2 levels in here, along with, this has a par meter, so we'll be able to take PPFD reading straight from the unit right here. It also gives us our light spectrum. So that's a good thing to have in your garden. You can just have one of these and move it around spaces. I like to have one of these for each grow space. Currently I only have this one available right now. I have like 8 of these in Thailand, but currently are getting held up from a situation over there. So we'll just move this one from each of the tents when we need to take the power reading or see the light spectrum, as we have 2 different lights in here currently. So hopefully those will be upgraded pretty shortly from Grandmaster lights. You can probably use the discount code terpyhighs on the Grandmaster website pretty soon, but I'll let you guys know later in the videos when that is actually active. But that's in the works right now, so here we go. We'll just get to work right now on installing the Pulse Hub and the Pulse Pro with the sensors. Pretty simple. You just use one of these connectors. So you connect this to the end of your sensor right here like this. And then one end will go to here, and it's just a daisy chain. So the cable will continue on to the next sensor and continue on to the next sensor. So we'd have 1 T for each of the sensors. You need one for the EC, one for the pH, one for the THV, and then one for the other one. So pretty simple setup. I'll get it set up and then we'll check back in once I'm done. Let's get the Pulse Pro set up. It's a pretty simple unit, just a small square orange box. Weatherproof for the most part. You don't want to be spraying water on the sensor portion of it. In the box it comes with this power cord with a very long cord. There is a battery backup inside the Pulse Pro, allowing the unit to still continuously to work even when there's a power failure or when the cable's not connected. So just keep that in mind. That's a very big positive about this unit. It will also give you a notification that it has lost power from the outlet, so you're able to get over there, fix the plug that might be out of the wall or whatnot. Connecting it to the app is very easy. Hold down the side button for 5 seconds and then you can release that. There will be an indication on the front of the Pulse Pro with a flashing white light and a flashing red light on the side, letting you know that it's going through the process of pairing it to the app. It's very simple. You just need to press one button on the app, connect it to your Wi-Fi, confirm which model number it is on the unit. You can hit the next progress, connect it to your Wi-Fi name and password, and then it automatically puts it on your dashboard there. Obviously in these videos I show you guys screenshots. This is where I'm getting that screenshot of my data for my room, giving you all the data like temperature, humidity, light percentage, VPD, dew point, air pressure, CO2. Alright, I finished up the Pulse Hub setup for now, temporarily. It's going to sit here. I have my 2 EC and pH sensors here for the reservoir. I ended up changing my mind. I'm going to put the reservoir here, get rid of this table. So we'll have our nutrient mixing here, and then we'll have another tote right here, which will catch the runoff from these 2 tents, because we're going to be building tables and trays here. Or build a table here that will keep the tray about a foot off the ground, and then both those tents will drain from a line that will go into the tote, and then the reservoir here with the nutrients mixed will feed the 2 tents right there. So pretty simple setup. We got the THV sensor there, just zip tied in place, because this will most likely be the amount of space that will be occupied by the canopy, maybe a little bit higher. And then in this tent over here we have the same thing. So this one's right under the fan just because of the fan placement. But I'll throw up on the screen right now a screenshot of the Pulse app showing the temperature, humidity, and vapor pressure deficit, both from this sensor, that sensor, and the Pulse Pro here. I calibrated them all together. So what you want to do when you calibrate them, put them all beside each other, leave them there for 10 minutes with no air movement or temperature or environmental changes, and then calibrate them. So whatever the average of the 3 currently are, make it so you adjust the high one and the low one to the medium one, so they all are the exact same, which you can see on the screen pretty close. So I'm happy with that. We'll end up closing all these air ductings now that we are done for now until we build the tables. I'm just waiting for the trays to show up. Okay, here we are at day 4. Officially day 4. I just checked the calendar to make sure when we transplanted these clones into the pots. Today's plan, sorry for the little mess here. We're still getting everything set up each day. So we got pot poppers here, beneficial nematodes, which kills fungus GNAX mostly, or preventative. So each of these bags have 4 pouches in them. Each pouch has 1 million nematodes in here. It's a little overkill for the size pots we have, but we're going to do this. We've used this many times when I grew in Canada before and never had fungus GNATs after starting to use these. So we'll put one of these in each of the pots. Okay, so we'll put one of these in each of the pots. So it's out of the bag, just put it right on top, and then we hand water, pouring water over this pouch, which puts the nematodes into the growing medium, and then we're set for about 6 weeks. This one pouch will cover our 2 weeks of veg and then about 3.5 weeks of flower. Then we'll do this application again. So another pouch goes on top. We'll take this one out, obviously. We'll put another one on, and that will take us all the way to harvest. So we'll never have any growing medium bad bugs or larvae, anything of that sort in the growing medium. So perfect on that. And then we just have to worry about spraying the plants with any type of insectile soap, Athena IPM, Lost Coast, whatever you prefer, every 3 days during the veg stage, and then everything will be okay. These plants, the El Chapo and the Malibu marker, came with a little infestation of thrips. You can kind of see some damage right there, but overall I think we killed it off by the supplier also spraying a few days before giving them to us, and then we continued spraying once we got them. So we'll do that, 1 per plant, and then we'll hand water a little bit, not enough to have runoff because we don't have our runoff catchers yet installed, and our grow tray, which today I did get the drain, our little reservoir for the runoff to go into. So we'll have the 2 drains coming out of the tent and then come across here. We already have the fitting here, which will go on the side of that, right at the bottom there, so we can attach our hose from the trays. Just waiting on the trays to show up. Alright, here we are at day 13 since transplanting the clones into their pots. Hope you like the little build video of putting this room together. I have done some work off of camera in here since the last little update on this video. I did realize while editing the video that these clone lights, or T5 or T8 light bars, make a flickering black line on the screen, so I won't have these on when filming, so sorry about that in this video. It won't happen again. And put in the comments if you guys want to see the Grandmaster clone lights being replaced onto here. So put that in the comments. Let Grandmaster know that you guys want to see those clone lights in this grow space. That'll be very helpful. But otherwise, as you can see, I got the irrigation, feed, and return or runoff lines all done. We have one drip emitter per plant. These are dual stakes, so one drip emitter, 2 stakes, as you can see right there. There's that pouch with the nematodes in it. We can take those out by now because the nematodes are not in those pouches anymore. But as you can see, the plants are very healthy. A little light green, we want to up that EC a little bit. But yeah, for what we got going on in here and having no climate control other than the fan speed being set to level 4 or 5 there, 50% on. That's the only climate control we have in here. The current PPFD for the light at the tops of the plants is 350 on both tents. We're just going to treat both rooms with the same conditions this entire grow. Yeah, so day 13, 350 PPFD. We're feeding about 2.7 EC. I'll throw up on the screen right now what the Pulse Hub environmental data collection is. We have the EC and the pH sensors down there in our reservoir here with the nutrients. Pretty simple irrigation setup. We just have a 1/2 horsepower submersible pump there, which feeds up, obviously goes across the ground, and then comes up into this tent, goes all the way around the tent like that. As you can see, it goes back out the tent, then it comes up here into this fitting, then goes all the way around this tent. Clearly it goes back out the tent, and then it comes back across the ground, and it comes straight into this little fitting here. I don't know if I can show you that. There's a little hole on the bottom of that one, which allows some pressure to get relief out of there, and also returns any nutrients that sits in this line and continuously mixes this while the pump is running. So currently we're just feeding the plants 1 time per day. We will put that on a smart timer so I'm able to turn this pump on if I'm away from the property or have multiple irrigations throughout the day, which I don't need to be exactly right at the tent to plug the pump in right now. But in the future that will be more automated, but this is a good setup so far. I don't think I've gone through everything in this room so far in this video. So we have 2 4x4 Gorilla Grow tents here. These are the Pro model. We have this high CFM support panels here, or poles. I'm missing a couple of these black fittings, so I can't finish it off on this side. As you saw, we put in the grow trays down here, and then also made our EMT conduit stands down here. You can buy this at any like Home Hardware or Rona, Lowe's, whatever you have by your house to make a table stand. I'll put the Amazon link in the video description for these fittings here, so you can make these at your house. This Botanicare 4x4 grow tent or 4x4 tray, I needed to put some holes on the corners for the tent pole to fit through, allowing for this table to fit in there properly. And then as you can see, I put these extra holes here. That way when the tent is closed, air can come through the bottom of the tent up through these channels, because when the fan is on, the tent wall gets sucked right up against the edge of this tray. So having these extra holes here allows the air from below the tray to come above. And it also helps us from not having any light leaks with these vents open. So any light that does come in from there, it's trapped under the tray here, and then does not get allowed up here where the plants are. Just the air movement gets pulled up through there and then out the top of the tent. Do we just have some cheap Chinese lights in here? I don't recommend either of these lights. It's just what I had to get started. We'll have Grandmaster lights in here eventually. Just finalizing the details to get those lights over here. And then each of the tents, I don't know if you'll be able to see up there. Yeah. We have an extra large AC Infinity carbon fan and a 6-inch inline AC Infinity fan over there, just with a speed controller. Don't need their control systems. You can get away with just the speed controller, but that really depends on your location. So as you can see on this tent over here, the same thing, 6-inch fan and filter combo up there. I highly recommend the extra large filter. Then we have 2 oscillating fans. These are AC Infinity also. You can use the discount code terpyhighs on the AC Infinity website to get a discount on any of their products. So I would definitely use this. This is not sponsored. I just have a discount code. They did not send me these. I actually paid for these fans. But yeah, and then anytime the plants do get wired through our irrigation system, our runoff obviously goes through the hole, down the drain, the collection, tees together in between the 2 tent there, and then it comes across into our runoff collection basin, and then I'm able to empty this by hand at any point. As you can see, the size is pretty relatively the same to the nutrient tank, so we could probably go 5 to 6 days of watering the plants with this, and the extra runoff can be held in here with no worries of any mess on the ground or anything. So that covers the 2 4x4 tents. Obviously these are the breeding projects. This one will be, I believe, El Chapo, and that one's the Malibu marker. You can see 8 different strains in this one. This one we have 9 different strains in here, just because I had the extra plant. And then our 2x4 over here, which is going to be the reversal tent and the drying tent. So it serves 2 purposes for us currently. These are the reversal plants, so they are going to be ahead of these plants. So these ones are still in veg. These plants over here are currently in the flower stage, only on day 1. So for 2 weeks they will be in the flower stage, and then we'll flip these into flower, and we'll be able to spray these plants with colloidal silver, which I have over here. I made myself. So every day we spray the plants with this. We're just trying to get it on the nodes, like right where the node comes out. Spray it once a day for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll have the pollen coming out of these female plants. Then we'll have all feminized seeds when we pollinate these plants once they're later in flower. But yeah, this tent, 2x4 Gorilla Grow tent, I only recommend this brand grow tent. Best ones on the market. I've used lots of Chinese different brands. This is by far the best. Not sponsored. I've had these for years. Only ones I'll use from now on. We've got a 2x4 light up there, which will be replaced. 6-inch oscillating fan here for the plants. We have another 6-inch fan up there just for air circulation. A AC and Infinity 4-inch fan and filter combo up there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, we're gonna only need 2 of these plants for the reversal. I just have 1 extra one I haven't killed off yet. And then over here we have our 2x4 propagation tent. So we have a wire shelf in here, 18 inches wide by 48 inches wide. 4 T5s on each shelf. That way you can have the 2 lights in the center on at one time, and the 2 lights on the outside on by themselves, and then you can have all 4 on, depending on which stage of growth you have plants in here. If you have seedlings, clones, rooted clones, or just cuttings. So super nice setup in here. Just using it for storage currently, as I just finished building out the room. A couple tools that we have, the Pulse Pro here, our PPFD reader, which we also have in here. So everything you have in the grow room, you want 2 of. Be redundant on everything you have. That's why we have the THV sensors there in each of the grow tents. We have the Pulse Pro there. Yeah, just good overall. So hopefully you guys like this video. It's probably a little bit long with all the time lapses of building everything out. Let me know what cross you're most excited about in the future. So until next time, happy growing everyone. And remember to get out there and make it happen.